Everything started when my sister Megan began saying bizarre things about my husband Jake. And I'm not talking about subtle hints. She was literally announcing to everyone at family gatherings that Jake was obviously in love with her. Her proof? He once helped her move a couch. He fixed her laptop when it crashed. He gave her a jump start that one time her car battery died in a parking lot. Normal things any decent person would do for their sister-in-law. But Megan turned all of it into some kind of romantic fantasy. "Did you notice how fast Jake came when I called about my car?" she'd say at dinner. "He dropped everything." Mom would look uncomfortable. Dad would clear his throat. And I'd just sit there trying not to throw my fork at her. "He's my husband, Megan. He's being polite." "Polite? Please. Men don't go that far for women they're not interested in. He does things for me because I'm his wife. But he does things for me too." She'd say it with that little smirk. "What does that tell you?" "It tells me you're delusional." She'd laugh. "You're so naive." If Jake texted asking if she needed anything from the store, she'd lean over to look at my phone. "See? He's looking for an excuse to come over. He wants to see me. It's my grocery list, Megan. He's asking if I need milk." She kept escalating. When Jake helped her install a ceiling fan because her landlord refused to do it, she posted about it. "So blessed to have someone who drops everything for me." When people asked who it was, she played mysterious. "Someone special." My friends started asking questions. "Your sister posts about Jake a lot. Everything okay?" Nothing was okay. I tried talking to Jake about it. He didn't even notice. "She's just joking," he said. "She's not joking. She told my cousin you have feelings for her." He looked genuinely shocked. "What? Why would she say that?" "Because you keep helping her with things." "She's your sister. I'd be a jerk if I didn't help." That's when I got the idea. What if you stopped? What if you stopped helping her completely? He didn't want to at first. But after Megan told his brother there was definitely chemistry between them, he agreed. The next time Megan called because her Wi-Fi wasn't working, Jake said he was busy. She called me immediately. "Jake won't come fix my internet." "Okay. He always fixes my tech stuff." "Not anymore." 2 days later, she called him to move furniture. He said no. She showed up at our house. "What's wrong with Jake?" she demanded. "Nothing's wrong with him. He won't help me with anything. He's being super cold." "Interesting. So when a man stops dropping everything for you, you notice, huh?" She got defensive. "I don't know what you're implying." "I'm not implying anything. You said men only help women they're interested in. Jake's not helping you. What does that tell you?" She tried a different angle at the next family gathering. "Jake has been so mean to me lately," she announced to everyone. "He won't even help me move a tiny bookshelf." My uncle laughed. "Why would Jake move your furniture? He's not your husband." "But he always helps me. He's so good at that stuff." My aunt stepped in. "Maybe he's busy with his own house." Megan looked frustrated. "He's not that busy. He helped Dad with the roof last year, remember?" Dad interrupted. "Megan, I asked him for help. That doesn't mean anything. But he came right away. Because I asked him to." Dad's voice was firm. "Because he's a good son-in-law." The silence that followed was uncomfortable. Megan stared at her plate, clearly frustrated. I tried changing the subject by talking about work, but my sister wasn't finished. "You all don't understand how he looks at me," she said quietly. Jake set down his fork. "Megan, I have never looked at you in any special way. You're my wife's sister, nothing more." She laughed, that laugh that made me sick. "All men say that until they can't deny it anymore." Mom stepped in. "Megan, honey, I think you're confusing kindness with—" "I'm not confusing anything," Megan interrupted. "I have proof." "Proof?" I asked. "What proof?" "Photos. Messages. Moments." Jake looked at me, confused. I was just as lost. "Photos of what?" Dad asked. "Of us," Megan answered like it was obvious. "Of all the times we've been together." Dinner ended quickly after that. Nobody knew what to say. Megan left angry, saying someday everyone would see the truth. In the car on the way home, Jake drove in silence. "What was that?" he finally asked. "I don't know. It's getting worse." "Getting worse? This is already too much." "What photos? What is she talking about?" I had no idea, but I also had an idea, and it terrified me. The next day, while Megan was at work, I went to her apartment. I had the emergency key she gave me when she moved in, for emergencies. I walked in with my heart racing. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but I needed to understand. Her living room looked normal. Basic furniture, TV, nothing unusual. Then I saw her wall. There was a corkboard next to her desk covered in photos. Photos of Jake. Jake helping her with the couch. Jake at her car. Jake at our house during Christmas. Jake in my parents' garden. All of them cropped. In some, I had been cut out completely. There was a photo from our wedding where only Jake was visible. I had been cut out. I felt nauseous. I kept searching. I opened her laptop. No password. Her photo folder had a subfolder. It was called J. I opened it. There were hundreds of photos. Screenshots of family group chats where Jake had written something. Photos from his social media profiles. Photos of me with Jake, where she had zoomed in on just him. One photo showed the three of us together at a birthday party. She had edited it. I was blurry. Only Jake and Megan were clear. My phone rang. It was Jake. "Where are you?" he asked. "At Megan's apartment." "What? Why?" "You need to come here. Now." He arrived in 20 minutes. When I showed him the corkboard, his face went pale. This isn't normal." I showed him the laptop, the photos, the screenshots, everything. Jake sat on Megan's couch, stunned. "We need to talk to someone about this." "Who? Your parents? The family? This can't continue." I closed the laptop and took photos of the corkboard with my phone. As we were leaving, I noticed something else. On her nightstand was an album. I opened it. It was an album of us. Megan and Jake. Photos where I had been completely removed. Photos edited to look like only the two of them were together. There were even photos from places where only Jake and I had been, but she had pasted her own photo in as if she'd been there. One page said, "Our story." Jake saw it over my shoulder. "We need to go." We left the apartment. In the car, neither of us spoke. Finally, Jake said, "This is harassment. She's my sister. I don't care who she is. This is not okay. She has photos of me everywhere. Edited albums. This is obsession." He was right, but it was hard to process. That night, I called my mom. I told her everything. At first, she didn't believe me. "Megan wouldn't do that." "Mom, I have photos. I saw her apartment." There was a long silence. Then I heard Mom take a deep breath. "Can you show me?" "Yes." The next day, my parents came to our house. I showed them everything on my phone. The photos of the corkboard, the screenshots from her laptop, the edited album. Mom covered her mouth with her hand. Dad looked furious. "This is sick," Dad said. "She's your daughter," Mom whispered. "And she needs help," Dad said. "This isn't normal. None of this is normal." Jake walked into the living room. "I need you both to know that I never gave her any reason to think there was something between us." "We know," Mom said. "We know Megan. She's always been intense, but this is something else." I agreed. We decided to confront her together as a family. We sent her a message asking her to come to my parents' house on Saturday. She replied immediately saying yes. Saturday arrived. We were all nervous. We knew this wasn't going to be easy. Megan walked in smiling. She thought it was just another family dinner. "Sit down," Dad said. His tone made her stop. "What's going on?" "We need to talk about Jake." Megan looked at me. "You're finally going to admit it?" "Admit what, Megan?" "That there's something between us." Jake spoke with a controlled voice. "Megan, there's nothing between us. There never has been." She shook her head. "You say that now because she's here." "I was at your apartment," I said. Megan went pale. "What?" "I saw the photos, the corkboard, the album, everything." She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. "Why do you have hundreds of photos of my husband on your computer?" I asked. "Why did you cut me out of our wedding photos?" They were memories." "Memories of what?" Jake exploded. "I never gave you any reason to think there's anything more than a brother-in-law relationship between us." Megan stood up. "You don't understand." "Then explain," Mom said, her voice shaking. You always preferred her." Megan looked at me. "She was always the perfect one. The one who did everything right, married the perfect man, has the perfect life. So you decided to invent that my husband loves you?" I replied. "It's not invented," Megan shouted. "The feelings are real. The signs are real." "What signs?" Dad asked. "That he helped move furniture? That he fixed your car?" "It was more than that," Megan insisted. "The way he looked at me. The conversations. We never had private conversations," Jake said firmly. "Every interaction we had was normal family stuff. Nothing more." Megan started crying. "You're all making me feel crazy." "You're not crazy," Mom said. "But you need help." "I don't need help. I need you to believe me." "We believe you," I said. "We believe that you believe this." "But it's not real, Megan. Jake doesn't have feelings for you. He never did." She looked at me with so much hatred I stepped back. "This is your fault," she said. "You manipulated him to stop helping me, to pull away. I asked him to stop helping you because you were using his kindness to create a fantasy," I responded. "A fantasy that's destroying our family." "There is no fantasy," she screamed. "He loves me. I know it." Dad stood up. Megan, either you get professional help, or you're not welcome in this house until you do. She looked at him in disbelief. You're kicking me out? I'm giving you a choice. Megan grabbed her purse. You're all going to regret this. When Jake finally admits the truth, you'll have to apologize to me. She slammed the door on her way out. The silence that remained was heavy. Mom cried quietly. Dad looked defeated. Jake hugged me. Did we do the right thing? Mom asked. Yes, Dad answered. We can't keep allowing this. That night, Jake and I stayed up talking. I never thought we'd get here, he said. Me neither. Do you think she'll get help? I don't know. 3 days later, Megan hadn't contacted anyone. No calls, no messages, nothing. I started to worry. Despite everything, she was still my sister. I texted her. Are you okay? No response. I texted again. Megan, I just need to know you're okay. Finally, she responded. I'm perfectly fine, busy with important things. I didn't ask what things. I didn't want to know, but I should have. Because what Megan was planning was worse than any of us imagined. A week later, Megan posted on social media. It was a photo of Jake, one I had uploaded to my profile months ago. She had saved it and posted it as if it were hers. The caption said, Some people are meant to be in your life no matter what others think. My phone exploded. Cousins, aunts, friends, everyone asking what was happening. Jake saw the post at work. He called me immediately. I already saw it, I said before he could speak. We need to do something. This can't continue. I contacted my older brother Marcus. I explained everything. He didn't live in the city, but he said he'd come that weekend. We need to get into her apartment again, Jake said that night. We need more evidence to show the family this is serious. I already have evidence. Not enough. Your mom still thinks Megan is just confused. We need something they can't deny. He was right. Friday afternoon, while Megan was at work, we went back to her apartment, this time with my mom. Mom didn't want to go, but she needed to see with her own eyes. We walked in. The corkboard was still there. Mom stopped when she saw it. Oh my God, she whispered. There's more, I said. I showed her the laptop, the folder with hundreds of photos. Mom sat down, pale. Then Jake found something on her desk, a notebook. He opened it. It was a diary. The first few pages were normal. Megan writing about her day, her job, regular stuff. But then it changed. She started writing about Jake, about every time she saw him, every conversation, every interaction. Today, Jake asked me how I was doing. He seemed worried about me. Nobody else asks me like that. Jake helped me with the grocery bags. His hands touched mine. I felt electricity. The way Jake looks at me is different. I can see it in his eyes. He feels the same way, but he can't admit it because he's with her. Page after page, months of entries, analyzing every gesture, every word, creating meaning where there was none. One entry said, Jake texted asking if I could bring something to their house. He texted me. That means something. Jake checked his messages. It was a family group text. Jake asking if anyone could bring a package that arrived at my parents' house. Megan had replied yes, but in her mind, it was a personal message, a sign. Mom cried reading the diary. My baby is sick. She needs help, Mom. Professional help. We kept reading. The entries became more intense. She doesn't deserve him. I would be better for him. I understand him. I appreciate him. She just takes him for granted. Someday, Jake will realize we're meant to be together. I just need to wait. If she wasn't in the way, Jake and I could be happy. Jake closed the notebook. We need to go. I had already taken photos of several pages. We needed evidence but couldn't take the whole diary. We left the apartment. Mom was in shock. In the car, Mom said, we need to intervene as a family. Marcus arrived Saturday morning. We showed him everything. The photos, the diary, the posts. He looked furious. Why didn't anyone tell me about this before? We thought it was just Megan being dramatic, Mom said. We didn't know it was this serious. We organized a family meeting. My parents, Marcus, his wife, my Aunt Patricia, who was a psychologist, Jake and me. We invited Megan. We told her it was a family dinner. She arrived happy. She thought the family was finally gathering for something normal. She sat down. She saw the serious faces. What's going on? Aunt Patricia spoke first. Megan, we're here because we love you and we're worried about you. I don't need you to worry about me. Marcus put his phone on the table. On the screen were the photos from the diary. Megan went white. You went into my apartment again. We needed to understand what's happening, Dad said. What's happening? Megan exploded. What's happening is you're invading my privacy. Your privacy ended when you started stalking my husband, I said. I'm not stalking him. I love him. The silence was absolute. Aunt Patricia leaned forward. Megan, Do you understand that Jake is married to your sister? Yes, but that doesn't mean there can't be real feelings. Has Jake told you he has feelings for you? Not in words, but actions speak louder. What actions? Marcus asked, his voice hard. He helps me. He pays attention to me. He cares about me. Because you're my sister-in-law, Jake said with forced patience. That's all. Megan shook her head. You're lying because everyone's here. But when we're alone, it's different. We've never been alone, Jake replied. Every time I helped you was in public places or with family around. That's not true, Megan insisted. You came to my apartment once, 2 years ago, to install a ceiling fan. Your sister was in the car waiting for me. Megan stood up. You're all attacking me. Everyone's against me. We're not against anyone, Mom said. We want to help you. I don't need help. I need you to believe me. We believe you, Aunt Patricia said softly. We believe that you feel this is real. But Megan, the feelings you're describing aren't reciprocated. Yes, they are. He's just afraid to admit it. Megan, Dad said firmly, you're going to get professional help. This isn't a suggestion. Or what? Or you won't have contact with this family until you do. Megan looked around the table. We all had the same expression. This wasn't negotiable. You're choosing her over me, she said, pointing at me. Like always. We're choosing your health over your denial, Marcus responded. Megan grabbed her purse. You're all going to regret this. All of you. She left, slamming the door. We heard her car drive away. Aunt Patricia spoke first. This is more serious than I thought. She really believes there's a relationship. What do we do? Mom asked. We let her go and hope she hits bottom enough to accept help. And if she doesn't? I asked. Then we maintain boundaries. For your safety. And Jake's. That night, Megan deleted all her social media accounts. Her profiles completely disappeared. I texted her. Are you okay? No response. I texted again. Megan, we just want to help you. Finally, she responded. Helping me would be believing me, but you never will. And then she blocked me. Jake hugged me. We did the right thing. Then why does it feel so wrong? Because she's your sister. But sometimes love means setting boundaries. 3 days later, Marcus called. Megan came to my house, he said, crying, saying everyone betrayed her. What did you tell her? That I love her, but she needs to get help. What did she say? She hung up on me. That was the last time anyone in the family spoke to Megan for weeks, until everything exploded in a way none of us expected. 2 weeks later, Megan showed up at my job. I was in a meeting when my assistant sent me a message. Your sister is in reception. Says it's urgent. I went down immediately. Megan looked terrible. Deep dark circles, wrinkled clothes, unwashed hair. I need to talk to you, she said. We went to a coffee shop nearby. I ordered 2 coffees. She didn't touch hers. I've been thinking, she began, about everything you all said. About Jake, about me, and, you're right, about some things. I waited for her to continue. I've never been able to keep a relationship, she said, looking at her cup. All my boyfriends leave me. They say I'm too intense, too needy. Megan, let me finish, she interrupted. The last one was 2 years ago. He left me for another woman, said I was suffocating him, that I needed to give him space. I didn't know that. I never told anyone. It was embarrassing. Watching you have this perfect marriage while I couldn't keep a man for more than 6 months. My marriage isn't perfect. It's more perfect than anything I've ever had, she replied bitterly. And Jake he's good, kind, stable, everything my exes weren't. But that doesn't mean he feels something for you. I know, she said quietly. I think I know, but it was easier to believe that yes, that there was someone out there who really cared. We care about you. Mom, Dad, Marcus, me. Not the same way, she said. You care because I'm family. Jake cared because he chose to, or so I thought. He chose to be kind to you because you're my sister. That's all. Megan wiped her eyes. Don't cry, she said to herself. Don't cry. It's okay to cry. No, I've cried enough. Now I just feel stupid. You're not stupid. You need help. She laughed without humor. Everyone keeps saying that, but no one understands what it feels like to watch everyone else have what you want. And what do you want? What you have. She looked at me directly. A husband who loves you. A family that respects you. A life that makes sense. You can have that, Megan. Just not with my husband. I know, she whispered. Now I know. I thought it was a breakthrough. That she was finally accepting reality. I was wrong. 3 days later, Mom called me. Megan came to dinner last night, she said. She talked to your dad and me. She said she wants to fix things. Really? She said she understands she was projecting her problems onto Jake, that she wants to find a therapist. That's good, Mom. But then she said something else. What? She said you were the one who started everything, that you told Jake to stop helping her, that you created this situation, because she was using his kindness to feed her fantasy. I know, honey, but she doesn't see it that way. She says you manipulated Jake against her. Jake made his own decisions, Mom. I know, but Megan is convinced you ruined something that could have been real. It was never real. For her it was. I hung up, frustrated. Jake was on the couch working on his laptop. Megan's telling my mom I'm the villain. I said, what's she saying? That I manipulated everything. That I ruined whatever she thought was between you two. Jake closed his laptop. This has to end. How? By talking to her directly. No family, no distractions, just her and me. I don't think that's a good idea. She needs to hear it from me, that there was never anything, that there never will be. I texted Megan. Jake wants to talk to you. She replied immediately. Alone? In a public place, a coffee shop. She agreed. We met the next day. I was there, but sitting at another table, far enough to give them privacy, but close enough to step in if needed. Jake spoke first. Megan, I need you to hear what I'm about to say. Okay, I have never had romantic feelings for you. Never. You're my wife's sister. That's all you are to me. Megan gripped her coffee cup. I know. Do you really know? Because your actions say otherwise. I was confused, she replied, projecting, like everyone said. Then you need to stop blaming your sister for something that never existed. Megan looked at him for a long moment. It's hard not to blame her when she has everything I want. Then work on getting what you want, but not through my marriage, not through my wife. I know, Megan said again, but she didn't sound convinced. Jake stood up. I hope you get the help you need, but until then, I can't have contact with you. Megan went pale. What? You're making me uncomfortable. Your obsession is making me feel harassed. I need you to respect my boundaries. So she wins, Megan said with a trembling voice. Again, this isn't about winning or losing. It's about respect. And you're not respecting my marriage. Jake left. I stayed. Megan saw me. You came to make sure he said the right thing, she said. I came because I care about you. Liar. You came to protect what's yours. Jake isn't a possession, Megan. He's a person. And that person is telling you there's nothing there. Because you convinced him. I stood up. I'm going to say this one more time. Get help. Go to therapy. Work on your issues. Because if you don't, you're going to lose your entire family. I already lost them, she said. The day you all attacked me at that dinner, we confronted you because we love you. There's a difference. Not to me. I left the coffee shop. Jake was waiting outside. How did it go? He asked. She's not going to change. Not until she wants to. Then there's nothing more we can do. He was right, but that didn't make it hurt any less. That night, Megan sent a message to the family chat. I've decided to step away from everyone for a while. I need space to think. Don't look for me. No one replied. 2 months passed without news from Megan. No calls, no messages, nothing. I thought maybe she was finally getting help. I was wrong. What Megan was doing was much worse. It all started with a fake Instagram profile. It was called Hidden Truths 2024. No profile picture, just a black image. It started following all my family, my friends, Jake's colleagues, and then it started posting. The first post was a photo of Jake and me at our wedding. The caption said, "Some marriages are built on lies." She manipulated him to keep him away from the one who really loves him. My friend Jessica showed me. Did you see this? I had no idea what she was talking about until she sent me the screenshot. My stomach dropped. Jake, you need to see this. He showed me his phone. The same profile had tagged him in a post. Jake deserves to know the truth. His wife destroyed a real connection because she's jealous. Who's doing this? Jake asked. We both knew who it was. We reported the profile. Instagram said they'd review it within 48 hours. But the damage was already done. People were starting to ask questions. A cousin texted me. What's going on? Who's that account? It's Megan, I replied. She's lying. Why would she do that? Because she's sick. The next day another profile appeared. The truth always comes. This one was worse. It posted edited screenshots of conversations supposedly between Jake and Megan. The messages said things like, I miss talking to you, and she doesn't understand me like you do. They were completely fake. Jake had never written any of that. This is defamation, Jake said furiously. We can sue her for this. I called a lawyer. We met that afternoon. You need to document everything, the lawyer said. Screenshots, dates, every post, everything. We started saving evidence. Every post, every comment, everything. The third profile appeared 2 days later. Justice for Megan. This one directly attacked me. Called me manipulative, controlling, abusive. Said I had isolated Jake from his family, that I had forced him to cut contact with Megan. My friends started defending me in the comments, but the fake profiles had prepared responses for everything. Marcus called. "We need to find her. This has to stop. We don't know where she is." Then we force her out. How? By posting our own truth. Marcus created a long, detailed post on his Facebook explaining the situation. He told everyone about Megan's obsession, about the photo board, the diary, the family intervention. He didn't use her name, but it was obvious who he was talking about. When someone you love is sick and refuses to get help, sometimes the only option is to protect the rest of the family. The post went viral in our circle. Cousins, aunts, family friends shared it. The fake profiles went crazy. They posted 5 times that day, all attacking Marcus, but they made a mistake. One of the profiles posted something only Megan would know, a detail about a private conversation we'd had years ago. It was the proof we needed. I took it to the lawyer. "This proves it's her. With this we can proceed," he said. "But you need to decide how far you want to go. What do you recommend?" "A restraining order. For cyber stalking and any contact with you." Jake and I discussed it that night. "She's my sister," I said, "and she's publicly defaming you. She's making up conversations. She's trying to destroy your reputation." "I know. Then we need to protect ourselves." We filed for the restraining order the next day. Megan received the papers 3 days later. She called me from an unknown number. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. "Seriously? A restraining order? You're unbelievable. I make a few posts defending myself and you sue me. This proves who the real abuser is here." I sent the voicemail to the lawyer. 2 days later, we had the hearing. Megan showed up. She looked worse than the last time. Thinner, paler. She had a lawyer with her. A cheap one, from what I could tell. The judge reviewed the evidence, the posts, the fake profiles, the analysis proving they came from Megan's IP address. She tried to defend herself, said the posts were her way of expressing herself, that she had a right to free speech. Her lawyer argued there were no direct threats, that everything was opinion. Our lawyer presented the edited screenshots, the fake conversations, the clear defamation. The judge didn't take long to decide. Restraining order approved. Megan couldn't contact us, couldn't post about us, had to delete all fake accounts. If she violated the order, she'd be arrested. Megan stood from her chair. "This is ridiculous." "Miss, sit down," the judge said. She looked at me with pure hatred. "You're going to regret this." "That's a threat," our lawyer pointed out. The judge looked at Megan. "One more word and I'll hold you in contempt." Megan sat down, but her eyes stayed fixed on me. We left the courthouse. Jake hugged me. "It's over," he said. "Really? It has to be over. She can't contact us anymore." That night, all the fake profiles were deleted. Megan complied with that part of the order, but she wasn't answering Mom's messages, or Dad's, or Marcus's. She had disappeared again. A week later, Mom came to our house. "I went to her apartment," she said. "It's empty." "What?" "She moved." "Where?" "She didn't leave an address. The landlord said she paid the early termination fee and left." "Where did she go?" "I don't know. Nobody knows." Mom was crying. "I lost my daughter." "You didn't lose her, Mom. She walked away. Because of us." "No," I said firmly. "Because of her decisions. We tried to help her. She refused the help." Jake made tea for Mom. We sat in silence. "Do you think she's okay?" Mom asked. "I don't know," I answered honestly. 3 months passed without news from Megan. We hired a private investigator. He couldn't find her. It was like she had evaporated. Mom was devastated. Dad too, though he hid it better. I felt guilty, but also relieved. I could finally breathe without worrying about what Megan would do next. Jake and I started rebuilding, focusing on us. I thought we had seen the worst of Megan. But the universe had other plans. Because 6 months after the restraining order, Megan reappeared, and this time she brought consequences none of us anticipated. Megan showed up at my grandmother's funeral. Nobody expected to see her. She'd been gone for 6 months. No calls, no messages, nothing. And suddenly she was there, in the last row of the church. Mom saw her first. She froze completely. After the service, Megan approached. She wore simple black clothing. No makeup. She looked different. Mom hugged her, crying. "Where were you?" "Away, working on myself." Dad approached cautiously. "You had us very worried." "I'm sorry," Megan said. "I needed to get away from everything." She looked at me. I stayed where I was. Jake beside me. "Can I talk to you?" she asked. "Just for a minute." Jake squeezed my hand. "You don't have to." "It's okay," I said. We walked to a corner of the parking lot. Marcus followed closely, watching. I'm sorry for your loss, Megan said. Grandma was special. Thank you. And I'm sorry for everything else, too. The posts, the harassment, all of it. Okay, I was in intensive therapy. 3 times a week for these 6 months. Good for you. They diagnosed me with something. Dependent personality disorder with obsessive features. And I'm on medication. I'm working on it. That's really good, Megan. I know I can't undo what I did, but I wanted you to know I understand now. Jake never felt anything for me. I created everything in my head. I crossed my arms. Why are you telling me this now? Because Grandma died and I realized life is short. I don't want more time to pass with us hating each other. I don't hate you, but you don't forgive me either. Forgiveness takes time. I know. I just wanted you to know I'm trying to be better. Marcus approached. Everything okay here? Yes, I said. Megan was just leaving. She nodded. Thank you for letting me come to the funeral. It was Grandma's. You had a right to be here. She left. I watched her get into an old car and drive away. Do you think it was genuine? Marcus asked. I don't know. Time will tell. Over the following weeks, Megan kept her distance. She came to a couple of family dinners, sat quietly, didn't cause problems. Mom was happy to have her back. Dad was more cautious. Jake stayed away from her. When Megan arrived, he'd find reasons to be in another room. I don't trust her, he told me. I don't either. But maybe she's really changing. Or maybe she's waiting for the right moment. A month later, Megan asked to talk to Jake and me together. We met at my parents' house. Marcus was there too. I want to apologize formally, Megan began, to both of you, for everything I did. Jake stayed serious. Okay. I created a fantasy because my real life was miserable. I projected my needs onto you, Jake, because you represented stability. And I attacked my sister because I was jealous of her life. We already knew that, I said, but I needed to say it out loud, in front of witnesses. So it's real. And what do you want now? Jake asked. Nothing. Just for you to know it won't happen again. I'm committed to my treatment. Good, I said. That's it? Megan asked. Just good? What did you expect? I asked. For us to say everything's forgiven? You put us through hell, Megan. I know. Then understand it's going to take time. A lot of time. She nodded. I understand. Jake stood up. I appreciate the apology, but I need you to respect that I'm going to keep my distance. For my own peace of mind. I respect that, Megan said. We left. In the car, Jake exhaled hard. That was uncomfortable. Yes, but necessary. Do you think she really changed? I want to believe it. For Mom, for the family. But you don't sound convinced. Because I'm not. The next 3 months were calm. Megan attended family events but kept her distance. Never approached Jake. Barely spoke to me. She seemed genuinely different. Quieter. Less dramatic. Mom was happy. We finally have peace, she'd say. But I couldn't fully relax. Something felt off. And I was right. Because one afternoon, while checking my emails, I found something strange. An email from a therapy clinic confirming an appointment for Megan Weber. The problem was the date. It was from 2 weeks ago, and the clinic's address was in another state. Why would Megan have therapy in another state when she lived here? I called the clinic's number. It was fake. It didn't exist. I searched the address on Google Maps. It was an empty office building. I felt a chill. Jake, I said, you need to see this. I showed him the email. Where did this come from? It was in my spam folder, but it has Megan's name. Do you think she sent it? Or is someone pretending to be her? We called Marcus. He investigated further. He found other similar emails, all with fake information. Someone's trying to make Megan look like a liar about her therapy, Marcus said. But who? I don't know. But we need to tell her. We went to Megan's house, a small apartment on the east side of the city. She opened the door, surprised. What's wrong? We need to talk, Marcus said. We showed her the emails. Megan went pale. I didn't send that. My therapy is real. I can prove it. She called her therapist right there. Verified her appointments. Everything was legitimate. So someone's trying to sabotage me, Megan said, her voice shaking. Who? I don't know, but whoever it is wants you to think I'm lying. Why would anyone do that? Jake asked. To destroy the progress I've made, so the family will reject me again. We saw real fear in her eyes. It wasn't manipulation. It was genuine terror. We're going to find out who's doing this, Marcus said. But as we investigated, something else came to light. Something that would change everything we thought we knew about the situation. And the real culprit wasn't who any of us expected. Marcus hired a tech expert to trace the emails. It took 3 days to find the source. When he did, none of us expected it. The emails came from Jake's work computer. Jake was in shock. I didn't send that, Someone used my computer. Who has access to your office? Marcus asked. My assistant. IT people. Anyone with building access. The expert dug deeper. The emails were sent during Jake's lunch breaks, when he wasn't at his desk. Security camera footage from the building showed someone entering his office. It was a woman. Blonde hair. She didn't work there. Jake looked at the image. That's Jennifer. Who's Jennifer? I asked. My ex-girlfriend from 5 years ago. Why would your ex do this? I don't know. We haven't talked since we broke up. Marcus investigated more. Jennifer had been following Jake on social media, all his posts, for years. He found her Facebook profile. It was full of bitter posts about exes, about men who left her, about revenge. One post said, "Some men don't deserve to be happy. This is sick," I said. Marcus confronted Jennifer directly. He went to her house with the evidence. She admitted everything. She said Jake had ruined her life when he left her, that he deserved to suffer. When she saw Jake was having problems with his sister-in-law, she decided to make things worse. First, she created some of the fake profiles we thought were from Megan. Then, when Megan disappeared and came back changed, Jennifer decided to sabotage her. She wanted the family to reject Megan again. More drama. More pain for Jake. She's a psychopath, Jake said when Marcus told us everything. We pressed charges. Jennifer was arrested for cyberstalking and fraud. We had to tell Megan. We went to her apartment together. She cried when we told her. I thought you'd never believe me again. We believed you when you showed proof, I said. That's different. Thank you, she whispered. Jake spoke. Megan, I'm sorry someone used our situation to hurt you more. She looked at him surprised. It's not your fault. I know, but I'm still sorry. It was a strange moment. After all the chaos, there was finally something like peace. Mom organized a family dinner 2 weeks later. The whole family. For the first time in almost 2 years. Megan arrived early, helped cook, something she never did before. Jake and I arrived together. He still kept distance from Megan, but there was no visible tension. During dinner, Dad spoke. I want to say something. This past year was hard for everyone. Mom nodded. But we're here together. That's what matters. Megan spoke quietly. I know I caused most of the problems. And I regret every day what I put you through. We already talked about that, Marcus said. Now what matters is moving forward. And how do we do that? I asked. With clear boundaries, Jake replied. And mutual respect. Megan nodded. I agree. And I want everyone to know I'm still in therapy. I'm going to keep working on myself. That's all we ask, Mom said. Dinner continued. It was awkward at times, but it was real. After, while we were doing dishes, Megan approached me. Can we talk? Sure. I know we're never going to be like before, she said. And that's okay. I don't deserve your complete forgiveness. It's not about deserving. Then what is it about? Time. Consistent actions. Proving you really changed. I'm going to do that, she said. I'm going to prove it, even if it takes years. Good. And I want you to know something else. What? I'm seeing someone. A man from my therapy group. He's kind, patient, real. I'm happy for you. For the first time in my life, I have something that's really mine, not something I envy from someone else. That's important, Megan. It is, and I finally understand. 3 months later, life had completely stabilized. Jennifer was sentenced to 2 years probation and a permanent restraining order against Jake and our family. Megan continued in therapy. Her relationship was going well. She came to family events but respected boundaries. Jake got a promotion at work. They installed better security in his office, and I could finally breathe. One night, Jake and I were on the couch watching TV. Do you think it's over? I asked. Really? Yes, I think so. How do you know? Because Megan doesn't seek me out anymore, doesn't look at me differently. She treats me like a brother-in-law, nothing more. And that doesn't scare you? That we finally have peace? No, it makes me happy. Me too. 6 months later, Mom organized a gathering for my birthday. The whole family was there, including Megan and her boyfriend, Derek. Derek was quiet, kind, clearly devoted to Megan. I watched them together. She looked happy, really happy. Not the fake happiness she projected before. It was genuine. After the cake, Megan gave me a gift, a handmade card. Inside it said, "Thank you for not giving up on our family, even when I did everything possible to destroy it. Happy birthday." It was simple, direct, honest. "Thank you," I said. We didn't hug. We weren't there yet, but there was mutual respect, and that was enough. Jake and I drove home that night in comfortable silence. Happy? He asked. Yes, really happy. No regrets? None. We did the right thing. We set boundaries. We protected ourselves. And we saved the family in the process. We didn't save anything. They did the work. We just held firm. Jake took my hand. I'm proud of you. Of us. Me too. A year later, Megan got engaged to Derek. She invited us to the wedding. We went. Not as maid of honor or best man, just as family. The wedding was small, intimate, beautiful in its own way. During the toast, Megan spoke. She thanked her family for not giving up on her, for giving her space to grow. She looked directly at Jake and me, and thanked us especially for teaching her what healthy boundaries mean. People applauded. I felt something like closure. It wasn't complete forgiveness. It probably never would be. But it was peace. And peace was more valuable than anything else. Jake and I danced at the reception. For the first time in years, there was no family tension, no drama, no obsessions, no lies, just an imperfect family trying to be better. Did you ever think we'd get here? Jake asked. No. Honestly, I thought I'd lose my sister forever. But you didn't. No. She lost herself, and then she found herself again. That's her story. And what's yours? Learning that protecting myself isn't selfish, that boundaries are love, and that I deserve peace. Jake kissed me. Yes, you deserve it. 2 years after Megan's wedding, Jake and I bought a new house. It was bigger than the last one, had a spacious yard, 3 bedrooms. Mom asked if the 3rd bedroom was for guests. I didn't answer. It's for the baby. I was 5 months pregnant, something I had postponed for years because of all the chaos with Megan. Now I could finally do it without fear, without stress. Megan came to visit when we moved in. She brought boxes from her and Derek to help. This kitchen is beautiful, she said while unpacking dishes. Thanks. We worked in comfortable silence. There was no tension, no strange comments about Jake. Derek and Jake were assembling furniture in the living room. They got along well, talked about sports and work. When we finished, Megan hugged me briefly. Congratulations on everything. The house, the baby, everything. Thanks, Megan. They left. Jake closed the door. How do you feel? He asked. Good. Really good. That night, while we unpacked the last box, my phone rang. It was a distant cousin, the one who years ago had asked me about Megan's posts. I saw you moved. Your house looks amazing. Thanks. And how are things with your sister? Better. Much better. I'm glad. I always knew you two would work it out. I hung up and looked at Jake. You know what the best part of all this is? What? That I don't care what people think. What do you mean? For years I worried about what they'd say about us, about Megan, about the drama. And now I have my house, my husband, my baby on the way. That's the only thing that matters. Jake smiled. That's the only thing that ever mattered. 3 months later, our daughter was born, Emma. Megan came to the hospital. She brought flowers and a small gift. She's beautiful, she said, looking at Emma. She looks like you. You want to hold her? Megan looked at me surprised. Are you sure? Yes. I passed Emma to her. Megan held her carefully, her eyes filled with tears. Thank you for trusting me, she said. You earned that trust. I know, and I'm not going to lose it. When Emma turned 1, we threw a party at our house. The whole family came. Mom, Dad, Marcus, Megan, Derek. Emma crawled all over the living room. Everyone took turns chasing her. Jake and I watched from the kitchen. 3 years ago, I never would have imagined this. Jake said, What? Having all this? Family? Peace? Normalcy? It's strange, isn't it? But good. Very good. Megan approached with Emma in her arms. I think she needs mommy. I took my daughter. Megan stayed a moment. Hey, she said. I wanted to tell you something. What? Derek and I are expecting 2. 3 months. Congratulations, Megan. That's incredible. Yes. And I wanted you to know first. Well, after Mom. I appreciate that. And I wanted to ask you for advice. About the pregnancy. About being a mom. It was the first time Megan asked my advice about something real. Something that had nothing to do with Jake or drama. Sure. We can talk whenever you want. Thanks. She went to talk to Derek. Jake hugged me from behind. Look what you built, he said. We built. I corrected. No, this was you. You set the boundaries. You protected our family. You gave Megan the chance to change without letting her destroy us in the process. We did what we had to do, and it worked. That night, after everyone left, I put Emma in her crib. She slept peacefully, with no idea of the chaos that had existed before she was born. Jake came into the room. Ready to sleep? Yes. We turned off the lights, got into bed. In the darkness, Jake asked, Do you ever think about how things would have been if we hadn't done anything? Sometimes. And we'd probably be divorced, or Megan would be institutionalized, or something worse. But it didn't happen. No, because we didn't let it. I fell asleep easily that night. No worries, no fears, no drama, just the sound of Jake's breathing. the baby monitor transmitting Emma's soft sounds. My family, my life, my peace, everything I had fought to protect. And every morning I woke up and chose that peace again. That was the real ending, not a dramatic moment, just normal days. Simple decisions, quiet life, exactly what I always wanted.